And in theory, this should be working. I am going to make a quote tweet about it on Twitter. Yep, I believe I am live. 4 followers away from 3,000. That's nice. Alright.
Alright.
Typhoon Bebinca is nearing a landfall on Shanghai, China. As a high-end category 1 or low-end category 2. Live covering it. And there we go. Okay. So, explain what's going on with it. Is it intensifying? Is it weakening? What do you think?
It's just maintaining the landfall. I don't really think it's intensifying or weakening currently.
Alright, and here is current radar presentation. What side do you think is the strongest?
Definitely the north. This is a system that benefits strongly from convective asymmetry.
Explain that.
So basically, the strongest side convectively, the strongest thunderstorms, where that is in the eye wall, will have the strongest wind. However, this system is only really as deep as probably a low-end Cat 1 hurricane for this area of the world.
Yep.
But it's acting more like a Cat 2. Sorry, my dad is
No worries.
screaming. Football.
Alright, and where would you say the center is in this imagery? Right around here?
A little south.
Right around there-ish?
Yeah, closer to
Let's
that.
see. Yep.
Even.
South of this tip right here, so it'd be right around here-ish.
Yeah, that makes sense. But you can see it looks more like just like a Cat 1 hurricane.
Yep. I mean, it looks
But
mostly symmetrical. I mean, it's kind of like a ball or a circle almost.
but that's only because of anvils.
Yep. It looks like that
The
the
actual
western side isn't doing as good right now.
not
This side right here of the eye. It's mostly the eastern side, eastern and northern side that's doing the best.
yeah.
There's also a nice band of thunderstorms right here. Would this have any tornadic potential? It's in the northwestern quadrant,
Mm,
so.
not really.
Alright.
The only I don't really think the system's gonna have hardly any tornadic potential. It's way too compact of a wind field.
Yeah. Alright, let me see if I can.
Systems that are the best for tornadic potential are systems that have a large wind field and are also very northeast weighted, very east weighted systems.
Yep, and this system, all of its banding is really on the west side, it looks like on here. Or, well, it's this right here.
Yeah.
This band right over here that's causing all that. There's nothing to the east side, really, at all.
Yeah, just the eye wall.
Visible, it's not daylight there. It's like 5:30 a.m. Oh, there's a little bit of sunshine creeping in. We should be able to see what it looks like on visible within the next 30 minutes or so, I'd say.
Yeah.
Also, it looks like it's made landfall on a tiny island here, over Shaanxi. Right here, the center of the eye is roughly over it. I mean, it's in the eye completely. The western eye wall is now approaching Shanghai.
Yeah.
Not really downtown, but just the general area. Alright, let's see if there's any comments or anything like that. Now here, okay, this stream's up, perfect. So yeah, how long do you think it will be until landfall? I put down 2.5
Um,
hours.
yeah, I could see. It really does depend as well on exactly where it goes. It's a little south of main Shanghai, according to this.
And also, it's a little bit more northwest of what the forecast was showing. Its center is right around here right now. So it may be going a little bit faster.
Okay.
I do not know how fast it's going entirely. I can try and see the 30 minutes.
Probably quite quick.
Huh?
Probably actually decently quick.
Yep. Okay, let's see. There's that, and I cannot see the other position. Okay, I'm gonna hover over that spot. That is gonna be right there, and then in 30 minutes it went there. Okay, I'm just trying to calculate it. I don't know if anything will tell us how fast it's moved. It's moved around. It's moving at around 16 miles per hour.
16. Yeah, it's pretty
I mean, that is decently fast.
pretty
It's not. It's nothing
decent
slow.
clip. Yeah. Yeah, that's a decent clip.
Also, why is it all? Why is all the convection like on the eastern side of the storm
The main reason
or
for that
thunderstorms? Yeah.
is just some lingering shear that's overall pushing on it from the north.
All right.
The system did not encounter a low shear environment ever in its life. It never has had a low shear environment its entire life.
And is that why it quote unquote busted? On why it didn't live up to
Um,
its full potential?
well, well, okay. The reason it failed to become like a super typhoon is literally because of the most unforeseen collapse that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
The entire system died for an entire day.
Yep. It was right
I mean,
around. Where was it?
it
Here-ish.
basically went from a low end typhoon to a remnant low in 24 hours.
Yeah, that was insane. What caused that? Was it dry air?
Nobody fucking knows. No one knows. Sorry. Pardon my
Well,
French. Pardon my
there's,
French.
there's,
Nobody knows. No, nobody truly knows the reason for why this happened.
yeah, I mean, it
Like,
quickly weakened. Like
it,
rapid weakening, almost 70 miles an hour to around
how
45
did
from the
it die?
JTWC.
It literally looked like someone had an aluminum foil under the entire storm that had
Hmm.
ice, and you just put it under it and cut
Yep.
off all of its warmth.
Yeah, all of the convection was starting to fade away. Now, if it had another 24 hours, do you think it would have intensified more?
Um, I think we'd be maybe looking at a category 3 or 4,
Yeah. But right now
but
it's maintaining, so.
yeah,
So it seems like Nanhu, New City, this area is going to receive a landfall. Since it is more north of forecast, roughly, kind of. I feel like it should make landfall north of this line right here.
should yeah.
The winds, this is where all of our storm surge is going to be pushing on. It should be for a large area of, Shanghai and then north of there. Not really to the south at all. All these islands are going to be battered with storm surge, of course. Just because the winds are going to be blowing at them at all times in different directions. The GFS model wants a landfall at 8 p.m. The German model wants it at around 7:30 p.m. our time. So within the next 2.5 hours, it should be over, or should be making landfall. Both models want it north of the JTWC cone and going into Shanghai.
Yeah.
Shanghai might be
I think I'm
actually
already
in the
gonna have
center
to
of it.
hop on for Chase. I gotta work on a bunch of schoolwork.
All right, no worries. See ya. Thanks for your help.
Okay. You're welcome.
All right, let's see. All right, so the eye of Bebinca is currently over an island just southeast of Shanghai, China, and it is expected to move into Shanghai within the next several hours. The eastern side seems to be the strongest, so this island, Shaanxi, should be. I mean, I don't think they've experienced the worst of it just yet. This area is going to have the strongest amount of winds, likely typhoon force and above, possibly Category 2 right in here. It's a very borderline Category 2 storm right now. And we also have other systems going on. A stream will be needed tomorrow, most likely. For this system right here, this is potential tropical cyclone 8L in the North Atlantic. It is forecasted to become a tropical storm. If it does, it will be named Helene. Tropical storm warnings are in effect for South Carolina all the way to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. And yeah, it should make landfall with winds of around 50 miles per hour at around 2 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday. So a stream will likely be needed around noon that time starting. Storm surge is, of course, a threat, 1 to 3 feet from the Outer Banks all the way down to the South Santee River. Rainfall, another threat. Some areas around 6 to 8 inches, and 8 to 8 inches to even a foot just offshore. And of course, this system is going to move inland and then pose a threat to inland areas like the entirety of Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina. Only really the eastern part of the state should experience, heavy rain. Here's the probability of tropical storm force winds. As you can see, nothing much really expected for Virginia, but areas in North Carolina, South Carolina should all be watching this. Georgia as well, there's a possibility. Not much though. And then, of course, the flash flooding threat is really going to peak out on Tuesday, through Tuesday morning. This will be Monday through Tuesday, I believe. I think, yeah, okay. Let me just double check. No, yeah, okay, this is Monday. Yeah, so tomorrow there should be a slight risk of flash flooding in parts of North Carolina and South Carolina. Then that threat is going to move northward over towards Virginia, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, that general area. And then on the, okay, if I can pull it up, the fourth day, it should be stalling over that same area. And then by day 5, it should just be for the Virginia area. So, let's see, 5-day rainfall totals. Like I said, near the coast, it's around 5 inches plus. And then this whole bluish color is half an inch. So there's a large area that could be getting that kind of rain. New York, I was asked about that. New York shouldn't really be under the gun that much. Maybe a quarter of an inch or so. Wind won't be a threat for them. Remember, if you have any questions, let me know in the chat, and I will answer them as quickly as possible. Thank you. And we're also 3 followers away from 3,000 on Twitter, or X. Hoping to reach that soon. Anyways, going back to Bebinca. Let's take a look on how the storm's progressed over the last few hours on radar, right around here. I mean, it is getting closer in range here. This is, I think this is out of dates. I will refresh it. Here we go. Here's the latest frames. There is a nice band to the northwest that is bringing thunderstorm conditions in some areas. I will pull up where that is exactly. And of course, as the storm gets closer to radar, the colors will start to pick up since it's able to accurately detect it. Radar is located right over here. So as you go further and further out, it gets less and less accurate. It only has a certain reach. As you can see, it's able to detect these thunderstorms quite well, but it's having a difficulty detecting the eye wall. But I mean, there is a solid eye in it. It is a Category 1, Category 2 storm. Not much difference between the two. So the eye wall is starting to reach southeastern Shanghai. And here are the thunderstorms I was talking about earlier. These are going to be continuing to move southwestward. We can even see that on satellite. It's quite evident right around here that they're continuing to progress southwestwards. Now the problem with this is this is going to be trailing over the same areas, so that is a threat for flash flooding, of course. So as these storms move southwestward, there will be more storms that follow, and so these areas could get around 1 to 2 inches per hour rates. If it could be higher than that. So yeah, the threats of flash flooding is pretty clear there. There is a river here. Now, the problem with this is storm surge. The way that the wind is blowing is it will be pushing water up the river right around here. So there isn't really much of a chance for any rain to fall over here to go out the river into the ocean because the storm is basically pushing. If I pull up wind gusts, like 100, 110 mile an hour wind gust up the river, nothing's able to really compete with that. You see the issue. Anyways, wind gust right here. If I pull this up, this is the GFS model. There could be wind gusts as high as 130 miles an hour on the islands that the storm is currently on, Shanghai. Say 130 miles an hour is possible there. I'm going to swap it to kilometers per hour just for a bit. Say around 220 kilometers per hour is possible there. Of course, it's going to be the northern side, northeastern side, and possibly southern side that are going to be the strongest. Of course, as the storm moves over land, the areas on land aren't going to get as high of wind. But this area, I do not know how marshy it is, so. But here it appears like it is quite marshy. Some areas could get around well over 150 kilometer per hour wind gust. Thankfully, though, as it goes inland, it will try to weaken. It is going to take a while. By around Monday, 2 p.m., their time, wind gusts are going to be around 140 kilometers max. It seems like a lot of areas are going to be getting strong winds. The area of gale force gust is around here. So it's still going to be occurring on Shanghai by that time, around 94 kilometers per hour. And as we go into around 8 p.m., wind gusts will start to die down. Shanghai should be good around that time, so around tomorrow nightish, or no, tonightish. They should be fine. Winds will die down, of course. Around here it's 28 kilometers per hour, so nothing serious. Of course, as we go on into 2 a.m. on the following day, Tuesday, wind gusts are continuing to die down, maximum at around 77 kilometers per hour. Nothing much. Sustained wind should be down to 65, so it will still be likely a tropical storm. And then the next day at around 2 p.m. the next time, it should be pretty weak. It should still have an intact circulation, it looks like. This far inland, that's surprising. Let's see how far inland that is. That would be around 400 miles. Wow, okay. Let's take a look at the... Oh, yeah, this is the icon. Here is the GFS model run. They have different winds and whatnot. This is a more relaxed forecast, I believe. Not as intense. Still expecting a landfall at around 8 a.m. So, like I said, within the next 2 hours or so, it should make landfall. Near Shanghai, it would be around Nanhui, New City. Then Shanghai could be in somewhat of an eye at around 10 a.m. Then around noon, they could be getting hit by the eastern eye wall, which will likely be the strongest. And as we go in time, of course, it will weaken at around 2 p.m. This is the general area of gale force gusts. Sustained wind should be a lot smaller. I will pull that up. Sustained winds of tropical storm force should be around this area, whereas the gusts are going to be in of course, a larger area. And of course, it's going to make it pretty far inland as a decent storm. I mean, this has an intact circulation. This is a tropical storm right here, still moving inland. No, my bad. I pull that up. And of course, as we go on into around, let's see, this would be Tuesday at around 2 p.m. Still intact circulation. This could be a remnant low. This could be a tropical depression. This would still be dumping quite a bit of rainfall further inland. If I pull up precipitation, yeah, you can see this areas of a quarter inch per hour higher. And of course, it if it stalls over an area, that is a lot of rain. Yeah, so it's gonna go on for quite a while. This has it at around the 17th or 18th at 8 a.m. Still has an intact circulation. Icon model, kind of, not as much. So it could still go on for the next 48 to 72 hours as a system before it fully dies out. Alright, so current radar frame. Yeah, you can see the eastern side looks to be the strongest. I mean, this is the heaviest rainfall on the storm. Not necessarily the strongest winds. The strongest winds are likely on the northern side. Now, the reason for this is that this is probably roughly all the same right here. These sustained winds, but you need to count in the forward motion. Forward motion is around 16 miles an hour towards the west. So this right here gets a push. This side right here is going to be the strongest, whereas this is fighting against right here. This would be around 16 miles an hour weaker, and then this would be an additional around 16 miles an hour stronger. So the northern side right here is going to be the strongest right here. The weaker side is going to be down here, and then these two sides are going to be, well, I mean, this side is clearly stronger out of the two. The western side is the weakest. Which hopefully people do not let their guard down. I mean, this storm is going to go over lands, and this eye wall will be the first to impact the people there. They will notice a considerable increase in winds. And then those in the eye, as this moves further inland, once they're in the eye, they might think it's over with because they already experienced the eye wall. But actually, the second eye wall right here, the eastern eye wall, is going to be going over them and impacting them with the stronger winds. So if they aren't prepared for it, they're going to be in for a surprise. Alright, let's take a look at this band to the northwest. Still doing quite well over Nantong, right around here. They're getting heavy amounts of rain from this whole band. This is quite large. Looks to potentially be weakening on the northern side, fizzling out right around here. But around Nantong, it is quite strong. These are heavy downpours right here. This red color, very heavy rain. Orange is also heavy rain. Yellow, I'd like to think around light to moderate rain. And then this, green and bluish colors are very light rain. It's not going to really pose that much of a flood threat unless it's over an area for a long period of time. The red and orange colors, these are the ones you want to look out for. As these stall over an area, these could quickly accumulate rainfall totals. Alright, Shanghai should be getting into the eastern eye wall pretty soon if they aren't already. I don't know how to... Okay, this is like 12 minutes out of date. 12, 15 minutes out of date. Okay, I will pull up the latest frame. Alright, this is only 13 minutes out of date. There's Shanghai right around here. And then you can see the eye wall approaching the area. We can tell the eye wall's there a lot better now that it's closer to radar range. Oh well, thank you all so much for 3,000 followers on Twitter. Thank you all so much. I will make an announcement later. Once the storm's finally done, then we can celebrate all we want there. But right now, the main topic is going to be the tropics, of course. Speaking of the tropics, we have other systems going on right now. Let's talk about the Philippines. This will be an interesting storm for sure. So just east of the Philippines, we have a developing system, Invest 98W. The system is going to continue to organize. Right now it has some good convection, or these clouds right here on the southern side of a circulation. We don't have visible just yet, so we can't see how intact the circulation is. It is a broad one, and it is closed, but it's not tight enough to be a tropical cyclone. Now, this system's going to, the forecast on it is quite difficult. As you can see here, it is pretty widespread what it's supposed to do. It should generally move westwards in the beginning, and then start to, continue move westwards. Kind of taking a track similar to Yagi, shouldn't be as strong, thanks to the upwelling. Or it could be moving around near Taiwan. I don't necessarily agree with these ensemble members right here. I don't think it's going to move that direction. It's a very difficult forecast to make. It should move generally southwestwards, though, over the next 48 hours. And by then, we should have a better idea on what it's going to do. I do have faith that this system will form. Right around here. Next name is Solik, because we do have another storm named Praporoon right around Guam, which I believe was preemptively named by the JMA, Japan Meteorological Agency. So, it's near Guam right now. The thunderstorms are already blowing up over Guam, so not good for them. Of course, it has to be near land. So, it doesn't have that much of an organized circulation. You can see one right around here, making a run for it there. But there is also other circulations right around here, so it has like two lows, so I don't believe it's a tropical cyclone right now. The Joint Typhoon Warning Center agrees with me on that. They do have a high chance within the next, within the next 24 hours. I do agree with that as well. Guam right now, of course, getting hit with heavy rain. I'm going to pull up on my phone to see if there is any, flood advisories or whatnot. They should have at least something in effect. Alright, they have a high wind warning in effect. I'm looking this up on my phone. So south winds of 30 to 40 miles an hour with gusts of up to 55 miles an hour. It's in effect for Guam, Rota, Tinian, and Saipan. So all those areas are under a high wind warning. This is until 6 a.m. Tuesday or Standard Time. Or tomorrow Standard Time, my bad. And that would be, I don't know what time it would be for us, sorry. For my time. But for you guys in Guam, if any of you are watching, that's when it should end. Of course, it should be moving away, so it shouldn't be stalling over you all for a long period of time. It should be gone within the next 24 hours. But for now, you all are going to be impacted by it. Hopefully it moves away fast. Alright, so some of you all may be getting deja vu with this systems track. Don't worry, we've seen this before, okay? We've seen this about 2 other times before now. We've seen it with Shanshan, and now we've seen it with Bebinca. Now we're going to see it with Praporoon right here. So, what's the cause right here? There's a broad area of low pressure right over here that is going to be pushing this or pulling the system northwards towards China again. And the system could make a similar track to Bebinca. I don't think it will be as strong. We have seen systems do this before and they just don't form at all. So, I do believe this will form, but hopefully it should weaken by the time it reaches the Ryukyu Islands and then onto mainland China. Also here you can see the other system, which may become Solik, right over here near the Philippines, moving into the Philippine Sea by the 16th, and then making its way towards Hainan Island. Its future is uncertain, where it's going to go after the next 48 hours. It might try and do a center relocation, form one in the South China Sea, and then progress westwards. We don't know fully. Alright, let's take a look at visible imagery on our storm, see if anything's lightened up. There we go, okay. So the sun is starting to rise over Bebinca. We should be able to see a lot more within the next 30 minutes. Okay. I'm going to pull up what someone's saying in chat real quick. Sorry, I have to use Google Translate. Yeah, someone says a moderate tropical storm may be a hurricane, but I was expecting if it strengthens, it may be a tropical storm tonight, tomorrow, North Carolina prayers. Yep, so our other system, potential tropical cyclone 8, all the way in the North Atlantic. I can't believe we have a storm in September. I mean, it's been pretty inactive, but I mean, it's nice for those areas there. Of course, they all have to hit land. So yeah, I don't really think this will be a hurricane. It should be a moderate to strong tropical storm at max. That's all I realistically see. It should peak at around 50 miles per hour. So right now it's 45 to 50 at this point, but it's a mesovortex, all that stuff. It should become more tropical winds by the time it makes landfall. And then it's going to go over towards West Virginia, that area, and then dissipate, hopefully. So this system right here, if it does get named, it will become Helene. Remember, it's going to skip the tropical depression phase. We already have an 8L designation for it. So yeah, if it does become a tropical storm, there's around a 70% chance it does, it will receive the name Helene. And that means that the next storm after this will be named Isaac, and we all know the curse of the eye, that kind of stuff. So hopefully this I name storm doesn't become too bad. There has been a signal in the Caribbean right here going up towards Florida, that area, but it's not set in stone really yet, so I'm not fully going to cover that, I don't think. Yeah, we also have over here Elena, which is a remnant low at this point. Shouldn't do much. It's just going to be meandering out to sea in the Gulf of California. So, I mean, it does have an intact circulation. It's between, I mean, it's equidistance from land, so it could go on for the next 24 hours or so. We'll see how long it takes before it opens up into a trough instead of having a circulation. Alright, let's see what else people are talking about. Says, what is there going to be severe weather, tornado, severe storm in the United States, hail, severe, okay, strong winds, all that stuff, okay. So I believe they're asking, what is there going, okay, so severe weather side of the system, potential tropical cyclone 8. There are two main aspects of severe weather that we focus on with this kind of stuff, flooding and then, our tornadoes, that kind of stuff, whether it's hail, that kind of stuff. So flooding potential, there's only a slight risk at this time. This will be for tomorrow. Slight risk for North Carolina and South Carolina. And then if I pull up the Storm Prediction Center, these are the ones who are actually issuing the outlooks on the area here. I will show you all a better map for it. Alright, here's tomorrow. There is a marginal risk in effect for the entire North Carolina coastline and parts of northeastern South Carolina, right around here. This is all due to a tornado risk. There is no other threat for wind or hail, like severe wind. There is, of course, going to be tropical storm conditions, but no thunderstorm should really be producing any 60-mile-an-hour winds or hail, for example. It's mainly a tornado threat. Of course, as the system makes landfall, I believe somewhere in South Carolina, yeah. Wow, that is interesting. All the way down here, that is going to put the northeastern quadrants over the entirety of eastern North Carolina. So all of these supercells are going to be moving in onshore, and then, of course, the closer you are to the coast, the more of a threat you are for tornadoes and waterspouts. And then as you go further inland, it's less of a risk. Day 3 doesn't have really anything. It's just, of course, the general thunderstorm risk. They may up it. They may even up the chances to this to a slight risk, and we could see a tornado watch. NATOcast, another tool that we use to forecast tornado potential, has put out a 10% risk for tornadoes. That was quite interesting. Okay, let's see, day 2. Yep, right around here. So North Carolina is going to be the main threat right here, of course. As you go into Virginia and South Carolina, the risk lowers. But yeah, generally over North Carolina, let's see what areas there are, like Cape Lookout, Morehead City, even Wilmington potentially could be getting in on multiple tornadoes. I don't think there will be much, like, they shouldn't be that strong, hopefully. I will actually just double check that. Yeah, there's like around a 0.1% chance that they will be like EF2 kind of stuff. So, not really a threat for strong tornadoes. It should just be spin up tornadoes, if anything. But still, a tornado is a tornado. So you want to have multiple ways to get warnings for this. All right, let's see next comments. Alright, it can strengthen and become a Category 1 hurricane as well as hurricane. When will a storm form on the coast of Africa, Atlantic box? Is it time for it to form? Someone said, it could become a Category 1. I doubt that. It has 24 hours to intensify, so I don't think so. It would have to rapidly intensify, and it's not even a storm yet, so I don't think it will become a Category 1. This isn't exactly an Ophelia repeats in intensity, so really it should just be 50 to 60 miles an hour at peak. It could be around 50 miles an hour already, so I feel like a 50 to 60 peak is likely. Alright, let's see what else is being said. Yeah, when does the Atlantic say a tropical storm is going to form off the coast of Africa? Everyone is wondering when the next tropical cyclone will form in the Atlantic basin. Yes, everyone's wondering, of course. Now, there have been several factors to this. The main one is going to be the MJO. It's a complex thing. It's basically, storms want to rise up. All right, thunderstorms love to rise up. And currently, it is over the western Pacific right now. And this MJO that we call it will propagate eastwards. But right now, the opposite is happening over the Atlantic. It is all sinking air, so thunderstorms don't really want to burst up and circulate around one another, so there isn't really much activity going on. Also, if you've been tracking it, the monsoon trough, or the Saharan desert, has been getting some thunderstorms recently, and that has shifted our tropical waves to be moving more northwards than they should be. Gordon is an example of that. That is way farther north than it should be. If it was down over here, it could become a hurricane and whatnot, but it didn't do that. It was just too far north. Our tropical waves are still too far north. Now, the next Atlantic system, I will cover this, I guess, could be in the Caribbean. There has been some consistency from the Euro AI model, which I don't always trust. That people will say stuff like, oh, it perfectly predicted said storm. That means this is a great model for this. They try and use that, but I am not so sure on this. There could be a system trying to develop, but this is over 10 days out, so take it with a huge chunk of salt. Within the next 7 days, though, there should be a general area of low pressure here. This should be the Central American gyre right here. Yeah, right here. Basically, this is the same kind of stuff we had during Alberto. It's just going to be a huge area of low pressure across Central America, which could try and spin something up and head towards Florida. That's what we'll try and look out for. As you can see right here, then it approaches Florida and then goes out to sea. Oh, wow, towards Bermuda. Okay, interesting. Well, that goes right over the state, or right over the country. Yeah, I don't know what to think about this. There is ensemble support on this, so it's not like it's not gonna happen. It's not a fantasy cane. There could be a system here, basically. The new GFS ensembles are coming out, but here were the latest earlier. Within the next 7 days, should be a general area of low pressure in the southern Caribbean, and that should move northwards towards the state. They want it to occur within the next 10 days or so. I will try and pull up an ensemble viewer. Oh, oops, wrong thing. Okay, yep, here we go. So, yeah, there is support for something to approach there. Let me try and do 10 days. That might show a better idea. Yep, so right around here, there will be the potential for something tropical to develop as it approaches Florida. It should generally move this way. If it is anything, keep in mind this is over, yeah, this is 10 days, 7 to 10 days out, so we're not so sure about it. I haven't marked it, the team hasn't marked it either. We haven't discussed this yet. There could even be something over here, frankly, to be honest. So I've been tracking this system as well near Gordon. As they interact with one another, another system could form right around here. So that could be our Isaac, or this could be our Isaac right here. Or we could just be waiting another week until we get Isaac. Yeah, like, well, keep in mind, we don't know if this is even going to be Helene or not, so we don't know what's going to be Isaac either. So we don't know when our next system's going to form. The most likely chance is going to be Helene right here. Should become our next system. 70% chance, so it has a good shot. Alright, someone says, let me pull up this chat right here. Says that everyone wants to know when the next hurricane will form. Yep. Okay, so someone says, hello, chat. Jackson Slet Shorts, hello. Nice to see you here. Alright, let me see what this person's saying. Sun and Moon in Central America, tropical storm in Central America. Yep. They're talking about the same system there. It could be Central America or it could be a storm off the coast of Africa. We don't know what's going to be our next system. Okay, I don't know what that says. We don't know when the next, big tropical wave is gonna. I'm saying, oh, what is happening? Synchronous. These tropical cyclones are not developing as they always do. They quickly develop from the hurricane season on September 10th. Yeah, I mean, we are past our peak season. I mean, I don't mean that we're not getting activity. Of course, we should still get activity during October. Yeah, the conditions are expected to be more favorable around that time for tropical development, so we will see if anything happens and see if I will be chasing a major U.S. landfall or another Florida storm. So we'll have to watch that out closely. Alright, let's see what else there is. But on the coast of Africa, something is being observed in the models in the area that in Africa tropical waves are going to emerge with potential already on October 24th and already on October 1st. What is it? Okay. If it's October 24th, that is way too far out. I will check it out though. I think you mean like early October. Okay, my bad. Let me actually pull up the correct thing. Guessing you're using the GFS model on this. There is going to be a wave that's stalling right near the Capo Verde Islands, so that's something we're watching out for. Yeah, I see that system right here. Oh, I think you meant, let me just double check. Yeah, I think you meant September 24th through the October 1st. Yeah, I see this system. This is too far out, though, in my opinion. This is 10 days. This is like the furthest out you want to use. Oh, yeah, notice how the GFS wants this system right here to develop. They have it hitting Cuba, the Bahamas, and then curving out over here, potentially impacting Canada, Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland. That's something I would watch because it's within 10 days. The newest model run is coming out though, so we will see if any changes occur. Of course, I'm looking out for this system right around here if it tries to undergo tropical cyclone genesis. It will be along a stationary front, so we will see if it stays post-tropical or just stays an area of low pressure. Let's see what else is being said. They will then be on YouTube for hurricanes, all that stuff. Alright, let me go to this. Hurricane season not going to be very active, as we said, because no intense Category 5 hurricane. Yeah, I don't, like, this season should be average to below average, in my opinion, in terms of name storms. But of course, there is the possibility that we get another major. We should be able to get another major hurricane. I don't see this year ending in one major hurricane at all. I don't see that happening. We should be able to get a second, at least second. Should be able to get a third as well. I mean, we're just waiting on favorable conditions to occur. Let's see, in the month of October, intense strengthened hurricanes of Category 4 and 5 will form. Hope that by the month of October, the hurricanes will form as they usually do. Well, I mean, by October, we should be getting more activity in the Atlantic Basin and the Eastern Pacific as well. If you've noticed, the Eastern Pacific has been dead lately. It's been the whole entire two basins combined, really. It's been the Western Pacific that's been so active. Alright, let's see, next thing. Green, no hurricane leaving Africa. That becomes a Category 5 impacting, yep. I don't think anything will from Africa should be a concern just yet. We have plenty of time to watch things. In the month of October, I expect major hurricanes to develop, and in the month of August, no major hurricane was formed for Puerto Rico. It's clear that the month of August will not form. Okay, so, yeah, in the month of October, we should be able to get a major hurricane. I feel like maybe even November, possibly. If the basin is able to use its... Wait, hold on. Let me just make sure everything's working properly. Hold on. Let me just... Yep, sorry, my bad. Right, yep, that's working. Let me just check this. Yep, okay. But yeah, I do think that there is the possibility we get a major hurricane in the Atlantic in October. It shouldn't be that hard to get. Let's see, I hope that the month of October, yep, alright. Let me see what this says. I spoke of a much more streetlight phase. Let's have moves to the most intense, rapidly and strengthening hurricanes in 2023. Yeah, I mean, keep in mind there's been years like 2022 where they've been inactive for periods of time that are supposed to be active, and then you get it only takes one really, and we've had multiple hurricanes strike land there. We've had Beryl, so Beryl in and of itself makes it a record breaker season. So I mean, anything else is really just extra. We've had our Category 5 already. Anyways, let's take a look back at our Typhoon Bebinca, which its eye wall is now likely impacting Shanghai. This imagery is around 10 to 15 minutes out of date, this radar frame. And now the eye wall is starting to impact southeastern Shanghai. There's cities right here like Nichang. Right around here are getting in the eye wall. It does look a little bit exposed on the western side, but that isn't really a problem. The eastern side seems to be the most intense rain rates. Let me take a look at the latest radar frames on here. Yep, here it comes. The island right around here is about to be hammered by the eye wall. If they aren't already, honestly, this is 16 minutes out of date, so they're 16 minutes before this was right around here, so yeah, I mean, it looks like that they would be hit in an additional 16 minutes, so I do believe they are getting hit by the eye wall right now. Areas east of the eye wall are going to be undergoing a gradual improvement of conditions. Nantong is just about to get out of this heavy band right around here. This has been going on for quite a while. This has been our main concern for flash flooding. Thankfully, it seems to be moving. Like, you can see it moving westward, so it's not exactly trailing over the same area. And Nantong has been getting the conditions for quite a while, for like the past hour. of heavy rainfall, so there could be some flooding there. Anywhere along the band, there could be flooding. Thankfully, it is moving, though. You can even see it on satellite imagery. Right here is our band that we were tracking. And let's take a look at visible imagery, see if we can now see the storm. There she is. There we go. Okay. Yeah, you can see a convective burst occurring thanks to the sunrise right around here, and then over here. So now we're able to see the storm a lot better. We won't be able to see it on here, I don't think, in terms of visible imagery. Oh, I know, actually we can. That's nice. Now you can see this is what we call a vertical heat tower that just bursted on the eastern side. This is basically a convective burst, just more colder cloud tops. So while most of the storm, you'll notice it's starting to fade into a lighter red color, this new convective burst is supposed to help darken the storm a lot more. And basically, the convection will be a lot more intense. It is in the northeastern side of the storm, and that is probably the strongest, right around here. This is likely the area of 100 mile an hour winds, 115 gust, major hurricane force gust possible there. And then the overall typhoon force winds are likely all occurring throughout this whole entire area, to be honest. And then tropical storm force winds are, of course, occurring over a large area. I think I can actually show it to you all on winds right now. Okay, let me refresh it just because it's a little bit laggy. Alright, yep, so typhoon force winds likely occurring right around here. Could be occurring on land already, and then tropical storm force winds occurring right around here-ish. So wind gusts of around 50, or wind speeds, normal sustained winds, around 50 miles an hour. 48's over Nanhua, New City, roughly. That's an estimation. I'm going to see if there's any observations we got. Okay, so up here we got 45 mile an hour winds in Shanghai Pudong International Airport and 60 mile an hour gusts. Let's see what their peak was. Their peak was 65 miles an hour. Pressure is at 995 millibars. Shaanxi, let's see, their pressure got down to 976 millibars. The storm itself is at 966, so I mean that makes perfect sense. It is also in hourly observation, so I believe so. No, actually it's a 3-hour observation, so yeah, 966 millibars makes sense. Let's see, we don't have many other observations. I'd like to be able to see pressure on these. Instead of it just showing, wind. If any of you guys know, and you can let me know, that'd be helpful. It's probably in settings, I'm guessing, somewhere for observations. No, I don't see it. Alright, let me pull up what the person's saying. 2024 is not like, let's say, that the hurricane season was not very active, and that is why 80% has not been developed. So the center of the new hurricane thing could be developed. Yeah, I mean, keep in mind the hurricane season, since it hasn't had much activity, the area is primed for rapid intensification. I mean, with sea surface temperatures being so warm, they're able to really take advantage. So, I mean, since we haven't gotten really many storms, there hasn't been much upwelling. So, yeah, I mean, storms can explode in these waters. So, we'll just see if a storm can take advantage of it or not. They may not. All right, let's see next comments. Been this most favorable phase of the Indian Pacific in the area of the Philippines, Indonesia. There is a much better phase for hurricanes to develop. What are the typhoons that form? Yep, so the reason why the Atlantic hasn't been much active is because there's areas of sinking air, which prevents storms from forming. Now, in the opposite part of the world, we have rising air, so we've had continuous storms forming for basically the entirety of the Western Pacific. And Yagi, that allowed Yagi to reform over here, over India and Bangladesh. So, yeah, you all might have thought Yagi was done, but nope. Yagi is still ongoing. That's why the animation has not been released. So it's likely a tropical depression. It likely became a tropical storm at one point there, dumping large amounts of rainfall. But yeah, there's multiple storms right now out in the Western Pacific. We have an upper level and low, 96W. This isn't expected to do much. Should die out in this general area. Then we have Pulasan, Invest 97W, which should take a similar track to Bebinca. It's the same scenario as we've seen like the past three storms. So, and then this system right here, 98W, which could become Solik, is expected to generally move westwards. That's what we're expecting the storm to do, and head in towards the South China Sea. Then it could go on to impact Hainan Island, Vietnam. We don't know yet for certain. Remember, if you all have any questions, be sure to let me know, and I will be happy to answer them. Yeah, like the Western Pacific has been quite active, and it's been favorable for a long amount of time. So this phase moves so that the center of the new project theme is more favorable for the Atlantic Basin. Yep, so this MJO, which is basically all rising air, is expected to progress eastwards, and we could see a more favorable Eastern Pacific, and then we could see a more favorable Atlantic right here. Or at least the sinking air right here, the sinking air that's suppressing activity, will be moving eastwards away from the area. So yeah, we have our two phases around the world. We have our sinking and we have our rising. So what's going to happen with this is that's okay, wrong thing. Oops, my bad. All right, so I don't know if I can select it. Okay. There we go. As one moves east, the other one moves east as well. So as our fall or sinking air moves away from the Atlantic, it becomes like a neutral thing, and it's basically determined on sea surface temperatures, atmospheric conditions, and whatnot. And by that time, around the Central Pacific, Hawaii, that area, and then Eastern Pacific should become more favorable. Then during mid-October, by mid-October, we should be in an opposite phase where then our rising air goes over the Atlantic, and then our sinking air will be over the Western Pacific to hopefully suppress activity there. They've been needing a break, to be honest. They've been getting nonstop hits from storms, so it'd be nice to let them have a break for a bit. But of course, if we're giving them a break, that means we're going to be more active over here in the Atlantic. So yeah, this phase, by the time it's moving over there, it should allow for that Caribbean storm to potentially be in a more favorable environment. And yeah, that system's going to progress, or the rising air is going to progress eastwards. Then it should be there by mid-October, but by mid-October, we're falling off a peak, so conditions anyways aren't supposed to be that favorable. It's supposed to be like August, July and August kind of favorability. So, but that's not saying much since we had Beryl in June and July, so storms can still take advantage of conditions there. We'll see though. Alright, let's see any other questions. Okay, let's see. I'm going to give an update on Twitter. Let's see, how often is this updated? Let's see, is it every 30 minutes? I would like to know. Can I actually access this? ZSPD METAR. Alright, this is our storm right here, wind speed. Okay, I would like to know the winds right now. I mean, I see the winds there, but it's not what I'm looking for. 39 knots. Yeah, I guess that is what I'm looking for right here. Okay, I'd like to know. Alright, there we go. That's what I was looking for. So that is around 30 minutes out of date. Let's see, what is this? Not as bad. Okay. So yeah, ceiling pretty low. No warnings. Okay, interesting. They're about to get hit, so I will post an update when the new observations come out, which should be within the next 5 minutes or so. They should come out with a new report. Yeah, the western eye wall is now starting to approach the area, so winds could go up dramatically. Well, not really. I don't think it's going to go up that high. Alright, let's see if I can ring in a person. Yeah, pressure went down by around 1 millibar in the last report there. Visibility went down dramatically as well. Temperature's gone down, which makes sense. And they were mentioning light showers, and that was because of this that was approaching the station. So if you have any questions before that comes out, please let me know. Just looking on Twitter for stuff. Alright. Well, I mean, it should be coming out within the next 2 minutes ish. Should be within the next, by the time it reaches 40. So, I mean, it's 6:33, so it should be within the next 7 minutes. Landfall should occur within the next 90 minutes. I mean, this is roughly where the center was. Double check. Yep. So, I mean, it is around 16 miles away from land, and it's moving around 16 miles per hour, so it could make landfall within the next hour. So, we'll have to see where it decides to go for. That is the closest area that it could make landfall to. So, it might not make landfall. I did want to say that that is some cool architecture right here. Alright. But Shanghai hasn't been getting any rain right now. It's been dry for them for a little bit. Of course, that's going to change once they start getting into the eye wall. It is very eastward weighted, so they're going to be in it for a while after they first get in it. Yeah, that's the problem, though. Once people enter in the eye, like, this area is technically in the eye at that point, they are going to be thinking, like, oh, it's over. We're done with it. We faced the first eye wall, not realizing that they're going to have a whole secondary side to face. Hopefully people are prepared. Alright. Let me refresh the page. Nope, still nothing yet. It's 35 minutes out of date. Of course, it says light showers and all that stuff. I mean, that makes sense. They're about to get still, I guess, light showers. This isn't really heavy rain. I'd argue that this is light rain, this yellow color. And then green and blue is very light. This orange color is going to be your moderate rainfall, and then your reds are going to be your heaviest rainfall. These could be thunderstorms right here. I'd like to argue we can't see because of its location in the world. Like these are all thunderstorms, of course. You can see that there's even some pink there, so that could be some hail even. That'd be interesting. Thankfully, that's out over the water. Let's see, we could probably see it on here. Right over here. Let me turn off radar. There's those thunderstorms right there. The storm is likely moving faster than what the forecast showed. I believe, I think. Alright, so this was around 30 minutes ago. Right here, 30 minutes ago is around 26 miles away, so yeah, and 90 minutes or less makes sense. 80 minutes at this point. And I do not know when the Joint Typhoon Warning Center is going to give their update on, intensity and forecast. Their last cone is still going to be this one right here. So, of course, they do expect dissipation quicker than I think. It should be able to move inland quite a ways as a remnant low. Alright, and also the latest GFS run came out. Let's take a look at that. So they do want the storm to make landfall at around 8 a.m. So that's going to be interesting, figure out the timing of this storm. I do want to check this out just for my own sake because a live stream will of course be needed, so I'm going to want to know when to do the live stream. The NAM 3 kilometer wants it at 2 p.m. That's what the NHC went with. HRRR. Let me go to this one. This model does do quite well with these storms. They want it at around 8 p.m. I don't think it's going to be that late. FE3 high res, this one might be more accurate. This has it around noon to 1 p.m. And then the RGEM model right here wants it at around 11 p.m. That is quite late. I don't know how accurate that is. And then if we go to our main models like the GFS, GFS wants it to occur at around 8 a.m. We'll see how that pans out. Then the Euro wants it to make landfall at around 8 a.m. as well. Okay. Wait, no, not this 8 a.m., but the next 8 a.m. So they want it to wait a while. The Canadian model wants it to make landfall at around 8 p.m., so it varies quite a bit. The Icon model wants it even later, like at around 8 a.m. there, and then the AI model wants it at around 2 p.m.-ish. So yeah, I guess starting a live stream at noon is the goal. I can't really do it any sooner than that because I'm posting graphics at that time. So we'll see if a stream is necessary. If it already makes landfall, you guys are good. You all can deal with it. Like, you all know what to do and whatnot. It's only going to improve from there. But if it doesn't, we will do a coverage on it. If it decides to wait. Alright, let's see if we got the new observation. Here we go. We got a wind increase of 49 miles an hour and a gust of 65 miles an hour now. That is higher than the 60 before. So this is going to be the peak gust so far of the system. Right here, yep, 39 knots wind. Or no, this has not. Oh wow, okay. I'm surprised that this updated quicker than the actual website for the area. This area is at winds of near Shanghai is at 27 miles an hour with wind gust of up to 43 miles an hour. Let's see, these areas are added dates. Let's see, what does this show? Okay. Alright, I'm going to get an image of it. right here and post it to Twitter. Yep, sorry guys, give me a moment. You will hear a lot of typing in a moment. Okay, so it is not 0Z, not 23Z, it is 2230Z update. Okay, just did something. There we go. Update. I'm doing this off screen, by the way. Um, there we go, that should be out. Okay. Let's look at any questions you all have. Someone says show live. What does that mean? I don't think there's cameras. I will check, though, for you. Alright, we do have cameras. Oh, wow, okay. What is this showing right here? Just rainy conditions, of course, that makes sense. This was 46 minutes ago, so not showing the what's going on right now. This is in... I do not know where. Okay, Wuzhen. Not much going on. I wouldn't really expect much going on there. So there isn't really much live cameras going on right now. Okay, wrong thing. Oops. But we do have observations. We can see it's around 65-mile-an-hour gust near Shanghai, and then closer to downtown, it's up to 43 miles an hour. So they are getting into tropical storm and damaging winds. Anything above really 60 miles an hour is going to be the damaging, knocking down trees, that kind of stuff. Of course, their infrastructure isn't as good. So power outages are possible at around 40 miles an hour. So gusts of 40 is gonna be a problem. Of course, I'd like to be able to see power outages. I'm gonna see if I could pull that up on another tab. I'm gonna do this off screen. See if I can get Shanghai power outages. Power outage tracker. Nope, I cannot see any. I don't know how public their information is. Yeah, I would not be surprised if there are thousands of people without power, maybe tens to even hundreds of thousands of people without power. By the time the systems is already past Shanghai, there could be a million people without power. We'll have to see. But the western eye wall is over land right now, and the eye, part of it at least, is looking like it's over land. I don't know if that's actually the eye, though. You could argue that this right here is the eye. It's very hard to tell. I will refresh this, see what's new. Yeah, I'd argue that that eastern area is the eye. Yep, so right around here is the center, right over this little island. Is there actually people on that? Okay. I would not want to be riding out the storm there. So it's around 13, 14 miles. Okay, yep, that's shorter than I thought, yep. So within the next hour, it should make landfall, is my guess. I'm going to cut this timer down to 60 minutes once I can. Let me discard that. Oops, let me go to tool scripts. Okay, give me one moment to fix it. So I do think within the next hour, it should make landfall. Let me add, okay, give me one moment. Let me fix that. There we go. I know that the timers are off. It's okay. So yeah, within the next hour, it should make landfall. It is likely a Category 2, low-end Category 2, or high-end Category 1. Alright, it's hard telling what happened to that. I guess this is too far out now to be the... Like, this became an outer eye wall. You can see a really nice flare-up right here in rainfall rates. Of course, that is going to be our actual eye wall. This has decided to stay over here while a new one decided to burst up over here. We could be able to see that on satellite. No, I'm not noticing anything. Huh. Okay, let me refresh this. This seems out of date. Yeah, I can't really notice much on here. Of course, now that it's daytime over there, they're able to see a lot more. It is still 6:46 a.m. for them. Of course, their time is all the same in an area. But yeah, you could also tell this thunderstorm right over here, really powerful near South Korea. Then we got all these thunderstorms developing, and then we have this one right here. That is the main flood threat. There was something here, though. I don't know what that's doing. But there isn't really much of a tornadic potential, thankfully. Okay, there is a little bit of an opening down here. I don't know what's causing that. But yeah, overall, though, the storm is starting to lose its convection. It is rebuilding it, though, especially on the northeastern side. I could probably show it to you all here. Yeah, look at before. Now look at everything fading away. Now look at it coming back. Alright, so in theory, we could be able to tell there's a clear shot on radar. Yep, or clear slot. Yep, right here. Here's our opening. I mean, it's kind of hard telling where the eye actually is. Is this an eye wall, or is this going to be our main eye wall? It's hard telling. I do believe that this is supposed to be an eye wall, but it is open. Because we have this wrapping around, we're confident that this is an eye wall right here. And the main thing, though, is, you know, we know that this part right here is an eye wall right here. Yeah, I do think that this is the eye wall. Notice how it's extending out right here. So they're probably actually in a clear slot, and the area is actually about to approach the eye. I don't really expect much clearness with wind. I mean, it shouldn't be a complete calm. There should still be tropical storm force gust, at least in the eye. Yeah, people may lower their guard. Hopefully they don't. Please do not lower your guard. You are about to be hit by the second eye wall if you are in the clear. Make sure you're staying up to date with what your local officials are saying. Alright, Shanghai is starting to get into light rain. Alright, let's see. What's going on with our other systems? Do with that. And remember, guys, if you have any questions, please be sure to let me know. I'm not going to be able to know everything that you all want to know. So if you have any questions for me, I will happily answer them for you. Alright, our storm over here is doing decent. Potential tropical cyclone 8L. We're getting a lot of ship reports showing near gale force winds. There could be a center here. I'm trying to figure out where the center actually is. Hold on. Why does this have something on it? Okay, sorry, I'm just checking my phone out for something. Oh, dang, okay. Alright. What's going on down over here? Okay, just more thunderstorms. Alright, and then the center of the storm, there's a marginal risk for the coast. You can see them getting light to moderate rain. Alright, I found the circulation there. Now all I need to do is find it on... Yeah, so the center's likely right around here. Now you all may be thinking, well, it has a closed low-level circulation, it seems like. It has convection over the center, like if you see this right here, that's some good amount of convection over the center. Why hasn't it been named? Well, fronts. The Weather Prediction Center here does still show it having a cold front attached to the south, which it should eventually lose it by around Monday morning. As you can see right here, by Monday at around 2 a.m., so within the next 6 to 8 hours or whatnot, 6 to 8 hours, it should be losing its fronts, or 12 hours, my bad, sorry. Yeah, okay. And then it's going to move inland, and then I don't know what it's going to do with its fronts. This forecast was made a lot later when it was frontal, so we will have to see. But yeah, it is just because it is frontal at this time. Um, Everything else is perfect, just that it is connected to a front, so it is non-tropical. So just give it a bit of time, and it should lose those fronts. It's got a 70% chance of becoming a named storm, so it has a high chance. It is likely to do so. Alright, yep, more of the eye wall starting to form on the west side right around here. This was the latest frame. This has been fizzling out a little bit, but that shouldn't be too much of a big deal. This is going to be our main eye right in here. So it shouldn't take that long to make landfall. Should be within the next 51.5 minutes or so. Wow, okay, there are some really nice thunderstorms south of South Korea. And I have no doubt that it's also an influenced from Bebinca. And also, though, you may be thinking Bebinca has been similar to another storm recently, and that was Shan, which tried to go the same direction, almost went over to China, but then, of course, it curved back. Or curved, oops, my bad, wrong thing. Okay, there we go, this way. And then went that way-ish. And yeah, I mean, we've had similar storms. We've had an invest that's moved into mainland China recently. I forget which one it was. It was 94W, 93W, 2W. I don't remember exactly. And we're gonna have deja vu again with this system by Guam, which has been named Pulasan. Right over here has a lot of convection going for it. Should be generally moving northwestward. It does have a mostly favorable environment. It's going to go through the same thing that Bebinca went through. Oh boy. Okay, this is an interesting new run. They have another system forming within the next 5 days as well. Okay. And then they have something over here. Okay. Yeah, the system should be generally moving towards Shanghai, China again, so that is going to be something to watch out for. For them especially, I mean, they're already going to be impacted by this storm, which is a Category 2 to Category 1. Now they're going to have to go through another one. Now you may all also notice another storm right here that is taking a very similar path to Yagi. And yeah, this system we'll have to watch out for as well. Could become a typhoon. It's like you can't really rule it out that it's going to happen or not going to happen. There is still a possibility. And I'm interested as to see why this is popping up. I don't remember seeing that at all. Oh, dang, okay, it was in the previous run as well. I think Taiwan, okay. See, run before that? Yeah, it's all what we call convective feedback. Basically, what the GFS and what other models like to do is they'll show a lot of rain, okay? Notice it right here. There's a lot of heavy rain right around here. And what the GFS has a bias in is closing that into a circulation. Alright, they want it to have a tight circulation right here. You see it forming a low right here. They turn the rain into a kind of an eye wall-ish. And what do these tropical storms do? They produce more rain. So what that more rain is going to do is going to tighten the circulation. That's why you get all these Category 5s and whatnots on the GFS. It just continuously does that. And then sometimes the storm doesn't even form in reality. It's just all from the convective feedback. You can especially tell when it's such a broad circulation like this. It's not tight, and then this is more of a tropical storm right here that it wants. It makes it such a broad circulation and then closes it because of all the rain. Yeah, this is a possibility right here. It is going to have to go through land interaction. This storm right here, this is going to be, if it does get named, would be Solik. And I do not remember the name for the Philippines. Sorry about that. Alright, so it is daytime there. Now, I mean, there is daylight. The sun has risen. So we will actually be able to see the circulation. Hopefully. Yeah, this may become a tropical storm pretty soon. I mean, you can clearly tell it has a northern circulation. Northern part of the circulation right here. We can't tell about the southern side right here. It is a broad circulation. We just have to wait for like a satellite pass to confirm if it does have a closed center. Stuff like that. Okay, someone says, I am waiting for Hurricane Francis. What do you mean by that? I didn't name this wrong, did I? No, okay. I have everything correct. I don't know why I'm talking about Francis. But yeah, the circulation could be closed at this time. We wouldn't know. Does have a lot of good convection over the center, so honestly, it could be a tropical depression at this point. We don't know, though. We need something to confirm it. We can't just designate it now and just see an ASCAT pass, a satellite pass, confirming, oh, it's not a storm. So that's happened at times. But yeah, the main thing that this system's going to do is it's going to be a matter of how quickly can it get its circulation together. It will have to go through the Philippines right here. And what storms like to do whenever there's a landmass and it's not a developed circulation is it will form, the circulation's moving this way, and its low will be right around here. And we will have two circulations. Because of the way that the coastlines work, it allows there to be two circulations. We'll have a general one like this that spawns in two. There will be a low here which will be our original one, which doesn't want to move over land, and then we'll have our second one right over here, which is moving away from land. And this one will die out because it's going to be moving, I mean, it's going to be stalling, so this circulation's the one that's moving over water. This one's going to die out over land interaction. So yeah, it could do a center relocation. We thought the same thing with Yagi, but Yagi developed really quickly and stayed a storm, didn't have to do any center relocation. I don't, wait, no, actually it did, yeah. Yagi did do it, my bad. My fault on that. Yagi did do a center relocation as well, right around here. And as soon as it did its center relocation, it got a well-defined center. So it was able to stay a tropical storm all the way through the passage. So if this is able to manage to organize quick enough, then this could become a typhoon around here. We won't be streaming for the Philippines because it won't be a typhoon while impacting there. We're going to be having to watch out for Hainan Island, Vietnam, those general areas to see if it does become a typhoon there at landfall. Yeah, the main thing with this storm is if it is going to be moving southwestward, it is going to have to go over a larger area of land than if it goes northwestward. Kind of like how Yagi did that over Hainan Island. Alright, let's see what else is going on. Okay, something else I didn't talk about recently was Yagi. Yagi has reformed and is actually currently over eastern India, near Dhanbad and Kolkata. It is likely a tropical depression at this point, maybe tropical storm. I don't think it's tropical storm. I think it's just clearly a tropical depression. It's been able to sustain convection for a while over West Bengal. So, I mean, this storm has been going on for a while. It's been annoying. I don't know if radar went down or something. I haven't been able to get a frame recently. Maybe it's just out of date. I don't know. Nope, never mind. All radar data is offline in India, Bangladesh, Western Myanmar, that whole area. Okay, so it's not just me there. Alright, Pakistan's still working. I don't know why their radars got shut down. Alright, so newest frame on Bebinca. We can see there's a little bit of a clear slot right here, but the eye wall is located generally in. Oops, sorry, let me fix that. Generally in this area right here, the eye is located in. So it should be within the next, let's see, 41 minutes or so, make landfall. Somewhere over here, I don't think it's going to be making a run for its south and taking hours. I think it should make landfall within the next 45 minutes. Maybe even sooner. We'll have to see. Keep in mind, this imagery is out of date. So if we actually track how far away it is from land in this imagery, it is around 10 or 11 miles away from land. It's moving at around 16 miles per hour. Now the problem with this imagery is it is out of date. I will pull up how far out of date it is. It is around around 20 minutes out of date. So, I mean, it is probably a lot closer to land than what this is showing us. Satellite would show us a better idea right here. Satellite could suggest that it's already made landfall, but I do not agree with that just yet. And actually, this is out of date as well. This is 12 minutes out of date. I will refresh it, see if we get anything more recent. Nope, still out of date. Okay. But you can see the thunderstorm over near south of South Korea right here. Really doing quite well. Could have some pretty large hail in that. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I mean, overall, the the satellite view of the storm looks like the center's over land, but radar shows a different story. Both of them are out of date, so it's kind of hard telling. There is a vertical heat tower right here. There's two of them. One right here, and typically the center of the storm's in between the two, so it's hard telling. Alright, at 8 o'clock, I will have to post a graphic that will show the worldwide tropical outlook. Of course, that is 00Z, so that will be the international time for the next day. So I do believe this will make landfall before that. Should give me time to do that. I mean, it should make landfall. Our projected time is 7:45. Could make landfall sooner than that. It does appear that the eastern parts of this city, I do not know how to pronounce that, is entering in the eye. So conditions there could start clearing, and of course they shouldn't be really uh, shouldn't really be out and about during this. It is not over yet. The eye is around 25 miles wide, so it is a large eye. They are going to have a long period of time, possibly an hour or two in clear conditions, so hopefully they don't think it's over just yet because they're in the clear. Shanghai is starting to get into heavier rainfall rates, not by much though. They were dry earlier, and then this band right around here has moved into the area. It has increased quite a bit. Wow, okay, yep. Alright, let's take a look at surface observations. They have not updated just yet. Should be out soon though. Nantong is now out of the heavy rain band on the northwestern side. This is still propagating westwards pretty quickly. Yep, right here. I mean, it is a good thing it is moving fast, but of course, the storm is spreading uh, heavy rainfall rates to a broad area, so the ground is going to be quite saturated by the time the storm moves over there. Hopefully, the storm can just keep moving fast. We are hoping it does that so it doesn't dump large amounts of rain everywhere. If I pull up rainfall accumulation predictions, we can see not a lot. It's around 3 to 4 inches of rain. Let's see, there are. Oh God. Okay, this is a disaster. 9 to 10 inches. I'm interested. What is this model for? Okay, this is Japan's model, I believe. Let's see if we can actually see a rain and thunder thing here. Yeah, they want some pretty heavy rainfall rates, 2 inches, 3 inches per hour. So yeah, this could happen. I don't know though. The eastern side is going to be the real pain for them. Oh, actually, I did not check the pressure of that one station. That was my fault. Let me open that up. This right here, they're down to 993 millibars. They were down to 995. Now they went from light shower rain, they're into shower rain right now. That makes sense. Wind should still increase. I wouldn't be surprised if we're getting near hurricane or typhoon force wind gust in the next update, which should come out soon. It's 35 minutes out of date, the last one, so we should be able to get it. They should be able to withstand quite a bit of wind, so I don't expect it to be down or anything. Yeah, this airport, it's been 40 minutes out of date. Let me see when I posted the last thing. That will tell me. I do at 41, so yeah, within the next 2 minutes or so, the next update should be out. Okay, and also within the next hour, the next National Hurricane Center advisory on potential tropical cyclone 8s will be out. I don't expect them to do much with it. Recon data, there isn't anything new. They did find pretty strong winds in a mesovortice in it, but thankfully they didn't use that to up any intensity. I don't expect any new watches or warnings to be issued. Just a position update should be the only thing they do in that update. Say, we will have another stream tomorrow on that. Let me see what's going on here. Yeah, here's Gordon right now, which isn't looking too good right now. I mean, it's an exposed center. Still has some convection, so we can't go remnant low, but it is a tropical depression. Gonna be a slump storm for quite a while. Thankfully, it should remain out to sea. Right, where is the observation? Okay. Nope, still not out yet. Okay. That is frustrating. Yeah, at least we have observations, a lot of observations on this storm right here. There are winds now getting very close. This was 12 minutes ago, 38 mile an hour sustained winds. I don't think it's going to tell us the wind gusts. No pressure of 10-15 millibars. Of course, that's far away from the center. But, yeah, I mean, there could be gale force winds almost along the coast at this point. I don't know what the last NHC update showed, but yep. Yeah, that makes sense. Tropical storm force winds right along the coastline. There we go. Yep. Potentially being over land. Specifically over, I think, Southport, Carolina Beach, that general area. Yeah. They could be getting tropical storm force winds. Of course, it's only showing around 18 mile an hour gust. They're pretty far out, though. It's mainly going to be over the water that's going to be getting it, for at least now, at least. The western side of the storm has also has nearly tropical storm force winds. A lot of ships are getting 20 to 30 to almost 40 mile an hour wind gust, or sustained winds. Gust should easily be over tropical storm force there. Alright, here we go. Now we have a new observation, 51 mile an hour sustained winds as the highest we've gotten so far with that, and now we have 69 mile an hour sustained winds. So we are extremely close to typhoon force gust. And just west of them, near downtown Shanghai, got a sustained wind of 29 miles an hour and a gust of 43 miles an hour. That is still tied for the highest gust for them. Let's take a look at pressure for both. Pressure for the station just to the east has dropped down to 991 millibars. Makes sense, it's dropped around 4 millibars over the past hour. And the one near downtown Shanghai is down to 998 millibars, dropped down 2 millibars in the past hour. It makes sense since now the eye is approaching the area. The eye wall is getting pretty close. Alright, let me post another update on it. And someone says, is it dangerous? I'm in Shanghai right now. Yeah, right now you shouldn't be out and about. At this point, Shanghai, it is it might seem okay right now. Rain just started recently in the one of the outer bands. It's not that expansive on the western side, so it should pick up quite quickly. You all are getting around tropical storm force gust. And east near the Shanghai Pudong International Airport, if you know where that is, they're getting gusts nearly up to typhoon force, 69 miles an hour. Typhoon force, you get what that is. It says Shanghai, they are getting into the light to moderate rain, and it is going to be consistent rain for quite a while. They are going to get into the eye wall within the next, I'd say, hour or so. Downtown Shanghai, of course, Shanghai is the third biggest city in the world, so it's hard pinpointing the general area. But downtown Shanghai should be getting into the conditions within the next hour or so. The eye wall. I mean, here, this area is just entering in the eye wall, and they're getting nearly typhoon force gust. Shanghai, we don't have a lot of surface observations. We only have one in the airport to their west. So, I mean, it's not safe to be driving out in it. You shouldn't. I mean, power outages are likely. If you have any reports and you want to let me know, be sure to do so. There isn't anything public information in terms of power outages. I'm going to make another post on it. Continuing. Was reported. Sorry guys, just posting this out. And Bebinca, there we go. Okay. An update is now out on that. Yep. Oh, come on. Okay, right as I post it, more of the areas in the eye. Yep. So Nan, Huik, Sachen, they are in the eye of the storm right now. It is pretty clear telling where the center is. This is a bit out of date, so more areas are going to be in the eye, further westwards, probably up to there at this point. Of course, if you're in the eye, that doesn't mean you all are good to go. There's going to be the second eye wall. It is around 5.5 miles away from landfall, at least in this frame. It's moving around 16 miles an hour, so it is incredibly close. Should be within the next 25 minutes or so. We'll pull up how out of date that frame is. That frame is 18 minutes out of date, so yeah, there could be more areas in the eye now. And landfall is probably a lot closer than we were thinking. Okay. It could even occur within the next 15 minutes, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, this imagery is also out of date. This is ran out of date by around 20 minutes. I will pull up some more up to date imagery. Satellites is good. Nope, wrong imagery. Let me pull up their mesosector. Alright, this is as of 10 minutes ago. Yeah, I'm going to drop down the landfall counter to 15 minutes pretty soon. Oh, my bad. Let me change this. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so I do expect a landfall within the next 15 minutes. It does look like the storm's almost already. On this imagery, it looks like it has, but radar hasn't confirmed that yet. Like I said, 20 minutes behind. Yeah, I'd say within the next 15 minutes. 10 to 15 minutes. Just do something. There we go. Alright. And they said it's actually raining a lot in Shanghai downtown right now, with more wind than usual, but nothing really scary for the moment. That's good. That nothing scary is going on in the moment. Yeah, it has been raining harder for downtown Shanghai. Yep, there is a. Here, I'll show you all the last hour. Yep, more rain has been appearing over downtown Shanghai. There should be a little bit of a clear slot occurring pretty soon, if not already. There are going to be breaks in the rain a little bit before you all actually get into the main eye wall. It looks pretty thick on this imagery. It's hard telling what's the eye wall and what's the other one. It could be, I can't really tell if this is an eye wall replacement cycle trying. If we had another 24 hours, we'd be able to tell a lot more, but it is going to be making landfall, so any attempts at one will be crushed immediately. It's hard telling where the worst conditions are as well. We can tell where the worst rainfall rates are. Right around here is going to be all the flooding rain. And if I actually zoom out to show you all this, if this is all the flooding rains right here, and then the storm's expected to move generally this way, you can see how Shanghai is likely to be under the gun for quite a while as it moves eastward. Or as it moves westward. And yeah, the eastern side is going to be the one that packs a punch, not really the western side. Even the northern side of the eye wall is going to be the strongest side thanks to the forward motion plus the eye wall's winds here. So this could be an additional 15 miles an hour stronger on this side, then a 15 miles an hour weaker on the southern side. Which, I mean, the southern side's not a good thing, really, because that's your anti-surge, push or pulling water out to sea, so helping get rid of flooding. And that's going to be less. Okay, new frame just loaded. Yeah, the center of the storm's very close to land right now. Let's see if I do this. So the eye shrunk to around 20 miles. Here, let me add a new thing right here. So around 3.5 miles away from land. I'm going to decrease this number down a bit. As soon as the next thing updates. There we go. Yep, nice. Okay, this should be within the next 6 minutes, I'd bet. We wouldn't have confirmation until 20 minutes after it does so, so that's inconvenient. The eye has been opening up in the latest frames on radar, and it has been becoming more symmetrical. I have noticed that. Okay. Zachary Brown says, "Sup, hello, how are you doing today?" been quite busy today. We have so many tropical systems across the world right now. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and plus Yagi. That's 8 systems all across the world right now we're tracking. Six of which are land threats, so that's why we're so busy. And like this system, we're going to have to do a stream on tomorrow, so that's going to be, as well, interesting. Actually, I think this forecast is wrong. I do believe the center's somewhere over here, I thought. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Let me look at. I'm looking radar at my phone. Yeah, I do think that the center's probably over here at this point. I've noticed a circulation right around here. I don't think it's a water spout. I don't think it's anything tornadic. Yeah, it looks like that the center's over here at this point. So yeah, a noticeable shift eastward is going to prolong the landfall time. It should generally curve westwards again and head towards Myrtle Beach, that general area. Of course, the problem with the system is the gale force winds or tropical storm force winds are so far out away from the center, so that's why tropical storm wind warnings are in effect all the way to the Outer Banks. So it is an expansive warning area. Yep, right here. You can see our general area of inland warnings where we expect the storm to go. But then we have all coastal warnings in effect all along here. Yep, Zachary Brown, Bebinca is a bad threat. Yep. You're correct on that. Likely a Category 2, Category 1 at this point. I don't know if it's at peak intensity. There's been a lot of debate on radar velocity data, on how strong it was. It was likely a Category 2 earlier, I know that. Alright, more of the eyes over land. Okay, we do have more convective bursts to the southeastern side. That makes sense. Right here, this should help us locate the eye. Yeah, it should be generally over here. It's hard telling. Of course, there is some shear, so it's not going to be exactly in the center of that. This also has it more north than where it actually is. Yeah, the center's roughly over here. Yeah, the western side of the eye wall has gotten more intact. Thankfully, it's not really able to do much at this point. It's possible due to land friction that it helped it organize some right before landfall. Alright. So yeah, I could declare landfall within the next minute. I feel like that's right. This imagery is out of date, so yeah, it basically looks like a landfall at this point. Yeah, the eye has gotten more clear and more symmetrical though, and the over the past 2 hours or so. Yeah, you can clearly see it here. There is an island though that is in the eye. I can't see it, and I don't think it's that. Oh, landfall. Okay. Mixing that out. There we go. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna wait till the newest frame comes out. But yeah, overall, let's give a brief rundown of all the systems across the tropics, from least concerning to most concerning. First off, let's start off with Invest 96W, right around here. Yep, this is an upper level low. They didn't even mark the correct spot recently, so maybe they've discontinued it. I don't expect much. There isn't even, it's just a trough right here. That's basically causing the wind to kink up. So there isn't any closed circulation, and I don't really expect much out of it. I expect it to die out within the next 24 hours. Next, we have Gordon, right over here, which is going to be a tropical depression for quite a while. Maybe get downgraded to remnant low. Could reform by the time it makes a northward curve, or just generally strengthen again into a tropical storm, but it's a hard forecast to make. It could even die out within the next 5 days. We do not know. Then we have Elena, which is a remnant low at this time. Shouldn't be doing much, should just be dying out in the Gulf of California. No further intensification is expected, no further rain is expected, and then all it is just a swirl of cloudiness. Then we got our Invest 97W, which is expected to make a similar track to Bebinca. We will have to decide whether or not we do a live stream on that. That is going to possibly approach the region on by the 19th, so on around Thursday. I don't. It all depends on whether or not it's a typhoon, so I don't exactly think it will do so. Probably going to give it around a 60 to 70% chance of formation within the next 5 days. The more likely threat out of these Western Pacific disturbances is going to be Invest 98W right here, which is continuing to organize a circulation under some really nice convection. We're not going to be streaming during the Philippines. We'd have to stream if it hits Hainan Island or Vietnam, this general area, as a typhoon. We'll have to monitor the situation. It could just be a tropical storm, but in case there's the possibility of it's a typhoon, we'll be live for that. That's also generally on the 19th, so. And then our next storm that we're going to be doing a live stream on, potentially, depends on what time it makes landfall, will be potential tropical cyclone 8, which should get named Helene pretty soon, if it's able to disconnect from its fronts. Timing is a bit uncertain. Earliest we'll do the live stream is around noon, Eastern Daylight Time. Yeah, we'll have to see, because some models want it at around 8 a.m. If that's the case, we won't be doing a live stream. Yeah, regardless of development, there should be tropical storm conditions throughout the general area there. Should make landfall as a 50-mile-an-hour tropical storm. Not much surge, isn't that big of a threat with this. Mainly just going to be the wind and how widespread it is. I don't expect any damaging winds, though. Alright, and that should be it, I think. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next threat. Goodbye.